All right, taking a look at an example similar to the last question. So our problem here is a given line has the equation 4x minus 3y is equal to 18. I drew that as line AB on this graph. What is the equation of a line perpendicular to the given line and passes through the point negative 6, 4? And so when we look at this, we're essentially trying to find something that is going to be perpendicular. That kind of looks like it's perpendicular right there. So that's essentially what we're going to be looking for. And so remember, perpendicular, we're trying to basically find something that's going to be able to have that little box going on right there. So our steps that we're going to see are going to be widely the same. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to find out what our slope is. And so again, the same thing that we could do is we could use a formula, or we could do our rise over run. Now, if we do it with the formula, the problem is that we don't have points. Like, I drew that line and I put A and B on it, but we're not given that in the question. So the formula really is going to be converting it from standard form into slope-intercept. So that's essentially what we are going to be doing, slope-intercept. That's essentially what we're going to do. So 4x minus 3y is equal to 18. Well, if we want to convert that to slope-intercept form, we've got to get y by itself. So subtract 4x on both sides. So we get those there. Those cancel each other out. I get negative 3y is equal to, I'm going to put the 4x right here, just because that's more like what slope-intercept form looks like. And then I'm going to divide by negative 3. And so when I do it on one thing, I've got to do it on everything on the other side. So those cancel each other out. I get y is equal to negative 4 divided by negative 3. So it comes out as 4/3 x. And then 18 divided by negative 3 is minus 6. And so you can kind of see that, like if I highlight that on the graph here, you can see A just is going to represent that y-intercept, and then B is another point. And so the other way that you could do it is with rise over run. And so if you do that, what I would recommend doing is like graphing it with something like Desmos, and you can put standard form straight into there, and you would get that. And then you just find two whole number points on there, and then you could do a rise over run. So like here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's plus 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6. So rise over run is going to be plus 8 over plus 6, which when I reduce those down comes out to be 4/3. So that's kind of what you're going to end up seeing there. So again, same thing, find the slope first. That's what you're going to be looking for. And so now that I have the slope, now I'm going to find my equation. And so that's going to be kind of my part 2. And so just kind of like the other ones, I'm going to use point slope form. I have a point, so my point is negative 6, 4. And then I have a slope, which is going to be perpendicular to 4/3. Well, remember, perpendicular, if I want it perpendicular, I've got to flip it. So we'll do perpendicular M. So we've got to flip it, so now it becomes 3/4. And then we've got to change the sign on it. And so when I do that, it becomes negative 3/4. So I would say that my slope is negative 3/4. So now that I have that, now I can just go ahead and plug those things into point slope form. So I've got y minus y1 is equal to m, x minus x1. I've got that. My x1 and my y1 are right there in my point. And so I'm just going to plug my numbers in. Y minus 4 is equal to negative 3/4 times x minus negative 6. Remember, minus and negative, those just become positive. So now I've got y minus 4 is equal to negative 3/4 and then x plus 6. So when I have that, I need to distribute that negative 3/4 onto both of those things there. And so I get y minus 4 is equal to negative 3/4 x. And then 3/4 times 6, when I do that, it essentially is going to come out to minus 18 over 4. And so if I look at that, I know 16 divided by 4 is 4. So it would essentially be 16 divided by 4, which is 4. And then I would have 2 over 4, which is 0.5. So that basically is just going to become negative 4.5. So I get negative 3/4 x minus 4.5. Okay, last thing I need to do to be able to get an equation for it is add 4 on both sides. When I do that, those cancel each other out. I get y is equal to negative 3/4 x, and then negative 4.5 plus 4 is going to be minus 1/2 or minus 0.5. And so you can kind of see that it kind of looks similar to it, because remember that minus 1/2 is going to be the intercept, so, or negative 1/2, that's going to be my intercept there. And then I could kind of see that if I go ahead and I look at my rise over run, so it'd be kind of negative 3/4. So 1, 2, 3 minus 3, and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's plus 4. So I'd have that. Again, lastly, if you wanted to, I don't know if that would be what your answer is in. I know some of them are in standard form, some of them are in slope intercept, but if you needed to, you could always convert that into your slope intercept. So that would be kind of 3 if you needed to. And so we have y is equal to negative 3/4 x minus 1/2. And so again, if you're trying to get that into standard form, add that 3/4 x on both sides. Those cancel each other out, so I get 3/4 x plus y. Oops. Plus y is equal to negative 1/2. And then remember, we can't have fractions, so we're just going to multiply everything here by 4. And so when I do that, 4 times 3/4 just becomes, let me get rid of that dot there, it becomes 3x. 4 times y just becomes 4y. And then 4 times negative 1/2 just becomes negative 2. So that would be your equation in standard form. So standard form. And then down here, this is your equation in slope-intercept form. And there you have it.